So, good evening, all. And once again, formally welcome everybody to this webinar. And this program is organized by Lead Call. This is a training, consulting, and coaching organization. And for the last 15 years, we have been doing in this domain. And I'm Khamarudheen. I'm a corporate trainer, author, columnist, and a mountaineer. I'm focused more on outbound kind of trainings. I have been conducting training for corporate companies related to the team building, communication, and such sort of training programs. And this is my friend Vineeth, my friend and business partner Vineeth. He's a corporate coach providing training and coaching service to corporates, individuals, and teams. And he's authored 3 books and is available for the coaching services also. So in this program, we are focusing more on learning and development. And if we consider all the professions, like every profession has a certain role, specific roles, like a teacher has a role of teaching, like the teacher might have the specific subject, syllabus, exams. There will be such patterns will be there for each profession. Suppose if you're a pilot, there will be the specific duty and everything. But if we consider learning and development profession, L&D profession, there is no such specific roles. Like they have to do the multiple roles, like training, coaching, mentoring, then create personal development plans, talent development plans, then data analysis, research, then content creation. There are lots of such works will be there. So, we are planning to discuss all these aspects, but not in this webinar. In this webinar, we are discussing some general aspects of L&D profession, and in future, we are planning to conduct very specific programs on each topics. So this is the brief background about this program, and so Vinnie will be leading this session, and Vinnie,
thank you.
Welcome to this webinar, and over to you.
Thank you, Kamaru. So good evening, all. So we are starting off something that could be a series. We are hoping to make this a series of sessions where we discuss learning and development in general and learning and development in corporate in particular, and the different aspects of it, different components of it, different arenas of learning and development. So today, we have come up with something which is sort of an introductory aspect of learning and development department and its responsibilities, learning and development head and his or her responsibilities. And we also hope to learn a lot from you people so that we can design better programs, better sessions in the coming days, which could solve your problems in more depth. Yeah. So I would like to start by just asking you a question. So before we start, there is no right answer, no wrong answer in this session. This is a contract that we set for all our sessions. No right answer, no wrong answer. Whatever you give is your response, and just involve and contribute and ask so that we can ask questions so that we can make the best out of today's session. Right. So where do you think your L&D department stands right now? Out of 10. Out of 10, where do you think your L&D department stands right now? Thank you, Neeta. Right. You could share in the chat window. Out of 10, what marks would you give? Okay. Thank you, Ashish. Thank you, Shanmugam. Right. So even if you are not typing it in, or even if you are not speaking it out aloud, at least we want you to think, we want you to imagine that score in your mind. Now, where do you want your L&D department in 1 year? What score do you want to achieve for your L&D department in 1 year? Wait, okay. From 5 to 10, from 4 plus 3, 7, right? 7 to 9. Okay, great, great. Okay, now we want you to imagine what it will be like when your L&D department has the score that you just imagined, like 9, 7, 10, the scores that you imagine for your L&D department in 1 year. What would it look like? How would it feel when that is the score your L&D department has? What will be different? What will be better? Now you can think beyond the L&D department, because definitely your organization will be different. It's not just the L&D department that is different. So how will your organization be different? What does it mean for your L&D department to have 10, 9, all these scores that you imagined, right? Employee morale high employee morale, great, thank you. So you said your L&D department right now is at 4, 5, 7, all these different points, and you want it to have 7, 9, 10 scores in 1 year. So one thing that will be different will be that the employee morale will be high. Improved common goal practices, great. What else? Right. So here are some prioritize employees' well-being, right? Deliver strategies. Great. Thank you. Right. So here are some of the goals that you want to achieve for your L&D department and for the organization in 1 year, right? Now, what are the challenges? What are the difficulties that you're facing in achieving this? You want to move from 4 to 7, 5 to 8 or 9, 7 to 10. You want to make all these score changes for the L&D department in 1 year. And these things will be different that you said right now. Improved common goal practices, employee morale will be high, employee well-being will be prioritized. So what is the challenge? What is stopping you and the L&D department from reaching that goal right now? Now, clarity on what to do and how to do. Thank you. Right. Persistence to spend time for learning new things and adopt. Right. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. Right. So you could keep adding in the chat window whatever is the challenge that you are facing, and these are the challenges that we are hoping to and we are trying to overcome through this session and the coming sessions on the L&D series, right? So we had also gone through the questionnaire that we had shared before, the responses that we got for the questionnaire that we had shared before on the group. And the questions that we have got are mostly about engagement, involvement in the training, mostly of all the different responses that we have got. Most of them were related to involvement and engagement. And today we'll be discussing quite a bit about that area. And we have also received some questions related to data-driven practices, data-driven decision making, and analytics AI. So we would like to see these as two different areas. One is engagement and involvement, and the other thing is data-driven decision making, analytics, and AI based practices. So at least in this session, we are not gonna delve deep into the AI analytics and analysis and that aspect of learning and development. We'll mostly stick to engagement and the learning design part on its basic level, right? So to begin with, how do you design. How do you design a learning module for the training? How do you do that? What is the procedure? What do you do? What are the steps? Or at least tell us one step that is part of learning design process. Training need analysis. Wow, great. Right. So how do you do training need analysis? TNA. How do you do that? Talk with peers and managers. Yeah. Right. Talk with peers and managers, stakeholders, feedback based on previous appraisal, stakeholders. Great. Thank you. Right. So you design a training based on the need analysis. You analyze what is it that you need, right? So we also would call it the training want analysis, because it's not just what you need. It's also something that you want. It has a dream component. It has a vision component, and not just a process or system component. So uh, just like they say in product design a product that people want, not just need. So we have to design a training that is a need and a training that is also a want, so that employees would also love to participate in it, because it's not just a need, it's also a want. It's something that people look for, it's something that people wait for. So just keep that emotional part, or the loud part of the training also in mind. So training is not just something that is needed, it's also something that is wanted, something that people look for, something that people wait for. Okay. So going back to the bigger picture, so you design a training because it is needed and because it is wanted, right? So I'm just gonna draw some funny pictures here. I mean, it might look funny, right? So this is where you want to take the organization in the future. On a broader picture, this could be the mission. On an annual basis or a quarterly basis, you could say you have to achieve the target or achieve the goal or whatever, right? So this is the destination. This is where you want to take your organization to, because it's not just about the learning and development department, it's about the organization. And the L&D department is like a big vehicle, right? You could say this is driven by the L&D department or the L&D head, right? So now you have to take the people of the organization from where the organization is right now. So this is where you are right now. You want to take the organization from here to this end goal, right? Now there are employees all around. Employees are all scattered. They are all around this vehicle. So you have to get them on board, right? Literally, you onboard them to the bus or the big vehicle, right? So now this is the distance that the organization has to travel from where, or from here to here. From where the organization is right now to where the organization wants to reach. So this is the gap from where the organization is right now to where it wants to reach. So there is a gap between the current reality and the future reality, the imagined reality. And now you also need to decide upon what route to take, because you don't know how exactly to reach here, right? You also have to figure it out. So there is a gap. You need to know what the gap is, where the organization is right now, where the organization wants to reach, and what is that gap, what needs to change so that it can achieve its goal or its mission, right? And you also need to figure out the route. So it's like it's not like a map that is given to you. It's a map that you have to figure out for the organization to reach this goal, right? Now, this L&D head and the L&D department can see. You can see forward what is in front of you, right? This is the glass through which you can see what is in front. To the side, you can see where people are. You can by looking to the sides, you can see where people are. You can see where you want to go, right? You can see where you want to go. And now you have the rear view mirror. You also have the rear view mirror through which you can see what's behind, right? Now you also have got signals in between, signal posts in between, right? So what would be this rear view mirror? What do you see in the rear view mirror? What is this metaphor of the rear view mirror in terms of this journey? You see forward through the glass. Basically, you do the need analysis or the want analysis for the training. Looking forward, looking at the mission, looking at the gap. Now, what is the rear view mirror? What is the rear view mirror for? Learnings that you had in the past. Yeah, the kind of experience. Great. Thank you, Nita. The learnings, right? Thank you. The learnings you had in the past, the feedback, right? The feedback that you get from the analysis of the outcomes, right? So what you basically do is you look forward, you do the TNA, you look forward and do the TNA, you design and develop a training, you design and develop a training program, and you deliver it, right? Then you take the feedback, and you redesign and redevelop and deliver it, right? So this is what you're supposed to do as learning and development heads and learning and development departments, right? You do the need analysis, you design and develop, you deliver, and you give the feedback, right? So now, if you look forward, the organization is having a particular challenge. Can you tell us one challenge that your organization has? I'm not asking in terms of the L&D department, but a challenge that the organization is facing, a big challenge, a big gap, or like we said before, a big gap your organization is facing right now in terms of its journey from where it is right now to where it wants to go. One challenge, budget constraints. Right. Great. Thank you. Budget constraints. Thank you. Anybody else? One more. You can keep adding in the chat window. So budget constraints. So if budget constraints is something that the organization is facing, Shanmugam has shared that. I imagine that it's not just in terms of the learning and development department, but generally the organization is facing budget constraints. So if budget constraints is in general something an organization is facing, how can the learning and development department create a training program or a session based on that? How to deal with that problem? What is one skill that the employees, the team is required to have in the times of budgetary constraints, financial struggle, financial difficulty? If budgetary constraint is one problem that your department, that your organization is facing right now, what training program can you develop? How do we deal with budgetary constraint? Any thoughts? You can share anything, like we said before, or not just one. What all ideas come to mind? What all skills do the employees need? Planning a framework, right? Planning framework. Okay. What else? Planning framework. Okay. You plan better. Better planning. Better planning. Okay. Planning framework. What else? Utilities in how to priorities of work. Okay. Priorities of work. Utilize in-house expertise rather than outsourcing certain things. Okay. Please. Okay. Anything else? Right. Right. Yeah. So new vendor management. Vendor management. Right. Right. Okay. So involvement of employees. Right. Involvement of employees, they don't know the importance of training and development. Most of them are busy with their daily routine. So work comes as a priority rather than attending a training session. Right, right. Involvement. Okay, right. I guess that is on a broader context. Right. So yeah, thank you, Nathan. Right. So right. Okay. So let's pick planning. What do you need to plan in the times of a financial crisis, in the times of budgetary constraint that is generally in the organization? What do you need to plan? What do the employees need to plan? What do they need to prioritize? So planning and prioritization can be so this itself is a training need analysis. Like you can it's one part of the need analysis. You can brainstorm. You can brainstorm with your own team. You can brainstorm with other departments, right? The organization has a financial crisis. The organization, so there are budgetary constraints, and how to help the organization in these times. So you can brainstorm and come up with such ideas and design programs keeping these solutions in mind. So how do you plan better? So when you plan better, you have better resource allocation, resource utilization, what to cut short, where to rework with sticking to budget, right? So now you have a pressing problem in the organization, and you are not dealing with some imaginary concept, some random soft skill that generally all organizations need. You have a pressing problem in front of you, in front of the organization, and you're working on it, you're brainstorming on it, and you're coming up with all the skills, all the actions, all the behaviors that you need to bring into the organization, and you're designing a training program based on that requirement. At this exact point, you are not doing some generic collaboration, generic teamwork, generic team building program. I mean, these are all important. These all needs to be done. But when you have a pressing problem, and when you address that, and when you tell the employees what to do in this situation, how to deal with this situation, that is how adult learning works. That is one difference between pedagogy and andragogy. Pedagogy is child learning or child education, and andragogy is adult learning, right? Right. So in andragogy, one thing that is important is that adults come with their experience. They are not newborns. They have their experience in the field. You respect their experience, you let them share their experience, and you also add that to the learning that comes from the entire training program, right? And adult learning also has this specialty of learning when something is a pressing problem, something is the most relevant, and something is based on the solution of an immediate problem. They learn better. So you contextualize training in that context. So right now your organization is facing a problem and you're brainstorming based on that. You're taking data based on that. You're doing interviews based on that. You're learning from peers. You're learning from top management. You're learning from department heads. You're learning from employees. Uh, and you are designing a training program to deal with that problem. So prioritization, planning of resources, utilization of in-house expertise, that itself can be a training program, right? How to do that? How can the individuals step up? Identifying resources, identifying human resource. Some people may have a really strong a strength in an area that is usually outsourced to some other people, some other organizations. Now, finding that talent, finding that resource, human resource, and utilizing it can be really important in terms of a budgetary constraint. So all these things, all these problems, all these solutions that come up in the brainstorming can guide you to design a training program. So now you design and develop a training program based on that, you deliver that, and you get feedback based on that, right? So it's not just usually when people think of training, we go into some generic idea of what it means to do team building, what it means to collaborate, what it means to empathize, what it means to communicate, and we come up with some generic module. Beyond that, we can do better than that. We can go beyond that, and we can look at the organization and see a pressing problem so that we can also communicate with the top management in a better way, because you have identified a pressing problem and you have a solution, you have a training solution for that pressing problem. It's not just some generic training, and you can convince the management, and when the employees come, they are also more motivated to learn from it. So that is one way you get more engagement from your employees. More about engagement and involvement from my friend Kamaru.
Thank you, Vinny. So we need to improve the engagement of the staff. So if we discuss the term engagement, we have to provide personalized support for the team. Personalized support means we know the organization has a goal. An organization has a goal or vision or mission, or there will be the target. But as an individual, there will be a different experience level, different needs, different capacity, everything will be different. So normally what we do in our organization is we provide some common training programs. Okay. So we have to customize, or we have to provide personalized support. For example, we have to respect or understand each person. For example, if I am handling a training session, I can share from my experience, or I can share my module or my points. So if we come to an experiential process, like Vinnie discussed, each person, I think he has considered everybody individually. He didn't give one solution for all things. So we have to understand each person's experience, each person's needs. In our team, if there are 35 members, and their average age is 30 years, so they have 30 years experience actually. So 30 into 35 means more than 1,000 years experience is there among your team or among your staff. So how can we consider that everybody will be in different phases of their career? For example, in the beginning of the career, they have to get the proper orientation. That's their need at that moment, because they have to get clarity on why I am here. We need to that staff has to get proper clarity on that. That's called the orientation. We are conducting the orientation programs at that moment. When the orientation is over, a new staff has to get trust from all other teams. So he has to mingle, interact, understand with all the team members in the organization. So that's another phase of training. Then the staff need to get goal clarity. Goal clarity means the organization's goal, why this organization is working, what is my individual goal. Then how can I compile my individual goal and organization goal. So that clarity should be given by the L&D department. Or sometimes we need to provide some specific training programs on implementing some specific project. Or sometimes the performance will be high. At that moment, they need to get the proper recognition. Or sometimes after 4 or 5 years, the staff might be reaching in a stagnation period. So there will be a confusion on why I'm continuing. So each phase is different, each person is different, their needs are different, their targets are different, their capacity is different, everything is different. So we have to learn how to design individualized or personalized approach to needs of the team. So this is one point. I think in this program, we don't have much time to discuss all these points on customizing all these programs, but we need to discuss one point to set individual goals and understand where they are right now and where do they want to move and what are the gaps. So we can use such solution focused approach. For example, right now I am standing here, my score is 3. I want to reach to 5. So there will be some gaps and there will be something to achieve in between that. So such approach we can take to improve the engagement and participation of all the participants. So we can use the experiential approaches, and plus we have to ensure in our L&D programs, we have to ensure the safety. Safety means the physical safety, intellectual safety, emotional safety, and social safety we have to ensure while designing the process. Okay, so this is we can ensure in while we are designing our process. Vinnie, you can continue.
So when it comes to engagement and involvement was one important question that we received in the questionnaires, and Kamaru has just given an insight into how you can get people involved and engaged. So here is something I would like to share on that. So can you see this?
Yes.
Right. So there is this misconception. Maybe we don't believe in it, but it's very common in organizations for people to believe that employees are just motivated by money and salary, and just salary is something. Salary and other benefits, other monetary benefits are something that can motivate employees to work more. And when there is a genuine struggle in organizations so that they can't pay better, even when they want to pay better, they think that there is no way to motivate people. And those who don't have control over money or over the salary, especially people like people in the L&D department, you probably don't have direct control over the salary, because that is decided by some other department and the top management. So how can learning and development department get people motivated, get people involved and enrolled in training? So like Kamaru just shared, knowing the vision and goal of the organization, that is really important. And this comes from the book, Why Motivation Doesn't Work, right? Why Motivation Doesn't Work, interesting title, right? So how to actually motivate people, how to get people involved and engaged, how to get people to actively participate in trainings and work other activities. So this is something that we could do in an entire session as part of the L&D series. But we would just like to give an introduction into this topic, which we'll discuss in detail later. So the spectrum of motivation. So where do you have the highest self-regulation, and where do you have the high quality psychological, where do you meet your psychological needs in its highest quality? So that is when you are highly motivated to engage and involved in whatever be the work, and whether it is a training or the routine work. So when do we have the highest motivation? Here you can see integrated. When an employee is integrated, that is when the employee has the highest motivation to participate in work and participate in training. So what is integration? Integration is basically knowing the vision of the company, not knowing because you have seen it written on a sticker that's fixed on in the corporate office. No, you know it in the heart. You can feel the vision of the organization, and you know that you also have a vision which is integrated to it. Your vision is something that is part of your organizational vision. So when you achieve your vision, your organization will also move a little forward towards the vision. And when the organization is moving towards the vision, you also have better chances of achieving your vision. So when your vision and the organizational vision are aligned, that is when we call the employees integrated. This can also be true about families and non-business organization, other kind of organizations, political organizations, anywhere. So the organizational vision and the individual's vision are aligned. That is when the highest motivation is there. The second highest is when the individual's core values and the organization's core values are aligned. So integration is about why does the organization exist in this world and why do the individual exist in this world. When these two are aligned, there is integration. And alignment, the second one, the light blue color, the sky blue color, alignment, that is when how does the organization exist in this world, not why, how. How does the organization exist in this world and how does the individual exist or live in the world? So these are the values. Some organizations are creative. They give a lot of value to creativity, and the individual may also value creativity. So they that is how they work. They work by being creative. So there is alignment. So that is value alignment, and integration is about vision. Why does an organization can exist in this world with a vision to empower individuals to do something dash. So that could be the vision of an organization, and that could be the vision of the employee as well. Then there is integration, right? So these are the highest forms of motivation. So like Kamaru said, when you know the vision, when you know the organizational vision, when you know the organization's goals, when you know the values, and when you are also aligned to it, that is when you have the highest motivation. And if training is an opportunity where, if training is a process where you also integrate these things, you also give, for example, you also give some vision percolation training, a training where you percolate the vision of your organization, and you also discover the individual's visions and values, and you integrate them as part of a training process. That one training process, to get the engagement and involvement of the participants too, that one training process, there you might have some challenge. But if somehow you could do that, that one training process, that one orientation, exactly what Kamaru said about orientation. So that orientation can ensure that you have better turnout and you have better, not only people coming to the trainings, but people also actively participating to the training in the training. So integration and aligned. So these are the two highest forms of motivation. So for more on it, you can refer the book, and we also hopefully will do a training on employee motivation. So inherent, imposed, external. Inherent is, in one way, it is a better form of motivation because psychological needs are met in a better way. But there is one problem with inherent motivation, that is low self-regulation. Self-regulation aspect is missing. A little bit of self-regulation is missing. So that is why inherent is, even if it's towards the end of the x-axis, it is not at the end of the y-axis, right? So that is a different form of motivation, and you could look at that as a play, right? People are doing work as if they are playing football or cricket. It's that kind of motivation. It's just because they enjoy the kind of work. So that is better in some way, but that has a lot of implications. So it's always advised to have integrated and aligned people, or to integrate people or align people to the team. So you can also see this as a broader objective of doing training, providing training to the team members, so that you initially get them motivated, you initially get them oriented. Now you have them with their full heart for the future session. So this could be one early obstacle that you need to pass. But once you pass this, you get better turnout and participation. So more on this, we'll discuss more on this in a separate training session, I guess. Kamaru sir, what do you think?
Yes. Yes, sir. And then there
Yeah.
is one question is there to clarify. I shared about the safety in the training. While designing the training process, there should be safety. Then can you talk about the safety part?
So please.
So safety part means that there is one, PICE, physical safety, intellectual safety, emotional safety, and social safety. Physical safety means while we designing a program, especially for my area is designing the experiential activities or outbound nature of program. So we have to conduct proper risk assessment, especially the physical activities, or set clear rules while we conducting the programs. We need to set clear rules and provide safety gears, and such part is called the physical safety part. Then intellectual safety means we have to design the program as per the level of the participants and ensure that acknowledge the diverse levels of the participants, and we can set expectations and we can design as per the team intellectual level of the team. That's called the intellectual safety. Even we can ensure in this program, when he said there is no right answer and wrong answer. So otherwise, what happens is there will be judgments. I have 15 years experience. If Vinnie asks one question, I don't know the answer. So I'll be intellectually, that will be unsafe for me to share the things. So people won't share. So this is called the intellectual safety while designing the L&D programs. And also the emotional safety, the psychological safety, an environment without judging the people, or practice empathy. If one person has a problem, we have to address him empathetically. So such things is called the emotional safety. And the social safety, and set the ground rules, or make the inclusive groups, or build proper rapport, or these are called the social safety. So while we designing the L&D process, we have to ensure all these parts. So then only they can they feel safe in an environment, or they feel more included. So while we designing any program for different groups, we set the ground rules. Like if we conduct a training program for students, especially for the college students, we set some rules like no blame, no shame, no guilt. So otherwise, what happens is if somebody tells something, others will blame, shame, and they won't come forward. So like that. Then there will be the learners are different. Somebody might have a need to get concrete experiences. Somebody needs the abstract concept. Somebody need to practice, or we can understand through the course experience, learning process. So people are different. Their learning styles are different. So if we design an experiential process, every kind of learners will get opportunity to learn. So we have to design experiences. We have to create the opportunity to think. We have to create the opportunity to connect with real life, or we have to give chance to practice, and there will be lots of mistakes, and we have to process that. So this is about the safety while designing a training process. Okay,
Kamaru, so I have a question, which is it's a common question.
Yes.
And there's one more question in the chat window, but before that, this is also connected. So usually in some trainings, the trainers, the facilitators start the training with some really competitive activities, and the entire training is filled with competitive activities. What is a problem with that? Is that good, or is there something wrong with it?
Yeah, that's actually the wrong. Even if we appreciate, for example, I ask you one question, what is the important point in a land or something, I ask, then one point answered that, then just appreciating that person. Even that creates some unhealthy environment in the training hour. Or otherwise, if we point somebody and ask questions, Vineeth, tell me the answer of this. and something
Yeah.
like that. So if you use such methods, that will intellectually challenge the person. I
Right.
think.
It can be threatening, right?
Yeah. So even in the competition part, if we design any such competition kind of thing, we have to ensure that to create such bond, rapport, or such environment and healthy environment before even if we design such programs. Or
Right.
otherwise, if we design any test or something, we have to ensure the confidentiality.
Right.
Like the school time, he got the first rank, the second rank, and this rank. So we have to ensure the uh,
Mm.
confidentiality of that program. For example, if one team has participated in one program and we have given the scores as per the process, and we shouldn't reveal that score of everybody. We can individually call them and share that individually. So we have to ensure the confidentiality in such situations if we conduct some kind of competitive uh, kind of programs. Hope I have answered.
Right. Right. Thank you. So we have a question in the chat window, which is also related with the.
Yes.
Uh,
How can we know the intellectual? Yeah, sometimes we need to conduct some assessment, TNA. Yeah.
Yeah. So and it can also be so as a learning and development head, as an L&D head, or as a somebody who delivers training. There are two aspects to it. You do some analysis. You learn a lot of things beforehand. If you don't exactly know the team, that is, if you are in a big organization and you don't know everybody by their face, and you don't know everything about individuals, you can collect some data and know about things. You can do some. You can go on and meet a sample of people and ask them non-threatening questions, and then indirectly learn things from them. But sometimes even that is not possible. But as much as possible, depend on the data that you get, and get data from the department heads. So whether primary or secondary data, collect all the data that is possible, learn as much as possible about the group. And the second thing is that we are all human beings, and we all have antennas, like strong antennas. If we could just sharpen that, what happens is that even if we didn't get everything from the preparation is really important. But even if we miss something in the preparation, when we are there on the stage as as the one who delivers training, or whether we are observing a training program as an observer, as an L&D head who's observing in a non-threatening way, like a participant, or like somebody who's not interfering or observing things, you can learn things in the moment. So the quality that we need to develop for that is spontaneity, right? So sometimes we get stuck with planning. We plan too much, and we try to execute the plan even if we realize that the plan will not work out right now, because we don't exercise that spontaneity muscle. We somehow try to force the lesson plan that we came with. But sometimes we will have to change the lesson plan. Sometimes we will have to dilute the lesson plan a bit, because we are humans and we can do it. We definitely will have to sharpen the spontaneity muscles. Like a kid, kids can act spontaneously. They can make changes in their plans spontaneously. Just look at them playing a game, a video game, a game on the smartphone. They are different from adults. They, depending on what is the obstacle in front of them, depending on what is the challenge that they are seeing in the mobile game, they improvise. They make changes. They don't have a plan. They don't force their plan on the world. When the real situation changes, they improvise and adapt. So when you know that these people, different from what you expected, these people are freshers. These people are beginners, not intermediate or advanced level people in their area, in their theoretical knowledge or practical knowledge, or their soft skills as well. You will have to change the module, the training outline that you the learning plan that you prepared for this training session, from intermediate to beginner. So that is spontaneity. That is how you change You may have designed a training activity which involves 30 participants, but then only 10 people have showed up. What do you do? So it is about that spontaneity. So that is something that can also help. And there are things that we can. So spontaneity is also an important soft skill, which is a component of, you could say, a component of creativity, a component of problem solving, right? Yeah. So that is also something that we can develop, right? Yeah. And I guess we can sort of wind up with formally and then have to take questions, I
Yeah.
guess.
Then one more
And
thing, I
yeah,
think
sure.
regarding how can we know the intellectual comprehension
Yes.
level of people. So there will be another session we can discuss some kind of pre-assessments before the training programs. We can conduct some pre-assessment.
Yeah.
And also there will be some diagnostic kind of activities. For example, if we given an activity based on the leadership, so we can understand the leadership level of the people. Or if we give a diagnostic activity on team building or problem solving, decision making, whatever maybe, so we can understand the people. So we can discuss in future programs. We can discuss such activities also, right? So I think it's already done. So I think we can continue this process with very specific topics, and whoever joined the group, you can stay there, and we'll continue with some programs like coaching skills for L&D professionals, or facilitation skill, art of asking questions, and training need analysis, or instruction design, how to design the instruction like for a year, 1 year, how can we design that, or how can we design a single day process, or one training process, something like. So we can discuss all these programs through different webinars, I think, and we can continue this process. And plus, once again, we are introducing ourselves. First, I'll introduce Vinnie. Vinnie is a coach, corporate coach. So if anybody is stuck in your profession, if you want to make improvement wherever you are staying, and you want to make an improvement, you can contact Vinnie. And I'm focusing more on outbound kind of training programs, or inbound and outbound kind of training programs. If you have any training requirement, you can connect us. Or if you want to equip your training and development team, or TNA department, or if you need any consulting or any coaching or any training programs, you can contact us, and we will be available. And yeah, so
and one more, I would like to add one more thing there.
yes.
And if by any chance if we get an opportunity to work with your L&D team, and there is no compulsion on it, this is something that we are doing as a just to have that impact, and just to help the L&D teams, this series of webinars. So no compulsion on it, but just in case, if you want to connect with us and get assistance, get help with your L&D teams work and progress, we take this approach of working in hands with the L&D team, with the L&D head. And you are the one who knows the department's problems. You are the one who knows better what the organization is facing. We will never overstep that role that you have in the department, and we will work only in hand with the L&D team and L&D heads, and that is one promise. And we know that we can't do anything without that help. So that is the approach that we take, and yeah. Thank you.
Then one more thing, you can bring your colleagues or your friends who are working in your L&D sections. You can bring to the upcoming programs. We won't compel any product. We won't call you that after attending this program. We won't call you that you have to take this product, that product, and we won't call you, and we won't compel you. So you can bring your colleagues, your department team members, and people from your circle to the webinar. So our sole purpose of this program is to share the knowledge. That's the one thing, and make the network of the people. That's another work. And if there is any opportunity to collaborate and work, we can work together. That's the next objective. So this is about the program, and we are active in all social media, also LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, everywhere we are active. So in YouTube also, we'll be sharing this kind of programs in the YouTube, so you can connect there also. So anything else to share, Vinnie?
No, we would just like to listen to them, whatever they would like to share.
Yes, 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 yes. Yeah, thank you. And you can share your feedbacks and you're sharing your thoughts. Thanks for sharing your knowledge. Thank you.
Thank you, Shanmugam. Yeah. So you could, yeah,
Okay. Thank you.
yeah.
And yeah, thank you for the effort. There were a lot of points to ponder. However, the session felt better and lacked better, which is could be improved with better. Okay, sure, sure. Thank you.
So
Thank you.
thank you. Thank you so much. It was wonderful listening to both of you. Your inputs. Thank you. Thank you. So thank you all for joining. We like Kamru said, we this will be a series, and uh, please stay in the group, and if possible, bring more people, bring in more people. Uh, let's learn together. Let's learn and uh, bring in an L&D revolution all over the world. Because it's such a powerful position, and it's such a powerful role that you people have, that we people have. We could bring a lot of change into our organization, leading to a larger change in the world, and we could empower a lot of people. So it's such a powerful and responsible role that we people are holding, and we hope to make the best out of this community, which is beneficial for the entire world. So thank you all. Thank you so much for joining. See you next time.